in this episode of The Tripod.
Gorgeous.
It basically has a button for every option you can choose in Lightroom. And it's either like a spinny dial or a spinny knob thingy or a big spinny knob thingy. And Kevin, Sean, please.
I didn't say a thing.
Kevin's face is bright red.
This is really ones.
Keep going.
Welcome to The Tripod.
Hello, welcome to episode 53 of The Tripod. My name is Ronan HD, and you can contact me and the lads here at The Tripod with 086 458 6994. Send us voice notes, pictures, videos straight into our little WhatsApp machine, and then we can have them here on the podcast. You can also support the podcast on our Patreon, which is in the show notes. Onwards and upwards. Hello, fellow hosts. Please introduce yourself in no particular order. Okay, thanks for that. In today's episode...
Hello, everybody.
It's the crack, lads.
Kevin Hennessy here. Kevin Hennessy Photography. How are you all getting on? I hope you've all had a pleasant week.
At the start of this episode, I kind of feel like, do I see the Anchorman with Ron Burgundy's just doing his makeup? He's just like, what?
We're live. We're live.
Wow, now brown cow.
We should get one of them red lights. How to come on the big live hook.
Yeah.
Studio in operation. Do not.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sean Reardon, and I am the youngest host of this tripod.
Oh Christ, he's still
of this podcast. I keep saying, this tripod are the same thing.
I mean, we are a tripod. There's three of us.
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, it's we're not physically a tripod.
Thing.
Like,
that's the play on words. You know what I mean?
Are we not physically a tripod though? Like,
we are.
We've never tried. We should.
We could between the three of us, we could hold the camera. Like, you know what I mean?
So yeah,
steady enough for a 2 minute long exposure.
Carbon fiber.
We have to try that when social distancing.
Definitely not carbon fiber. Definitely not. Like, nope.
One leg is aluminium, the other is carbon fiber, and the other is pure iron. It's just heavy.
I mean, like, talk about rabbit holes, and we're only about 7 seconds into the podcast.
Sure, look, that's how it goes. Lads, tell me about your week. I'm going to come to you first, Kevin. Have you been out taking photographs this week?
Lads, I fell in love with a tree.
Oh my God. We all knew this was going to happen.
I know. I fell in love with a tree.
That you were up there like 6 months ago?
No, this is new. So picture the scene, right? Sunday, obviously we can travel the county of Wicklow. So I was driving to Arklow to go to Mr. Price, of all places. Just for, a couple of bargains. You can't beat a bargain.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, Mr. Price. If you're listening, you can sponsor us if you want. No, we was driving down to Mr. Price and driving through Newcastle, between Kilcoole and Newcastle. And I just obviously there was a lot of like rapeseed fields on both sides. I was like admiring the rapeseed fields. All of a sudden, I spotted a rapeseed field with a lone tree.
Oh my.
Now,
what's her name?
I couldn't be too sure if it was actually a lone tree or it was one of those kind of lone trees that's stuck in a whole line of bush. Because it's not the same. But it looked like it was. So I was like, I'm going back there later on and I'm gonna check this out. So I went back and I swear to God, as I drove up that laneway, the excitement was just like, it was palpable.
Who calls a ditch a line of bush?
Whatever, like, that's not the important part of this story.
I had no idea what you were laughing at. I was just laughing.
Me neither.
I was laughing at you.
No, you're not a landscape photographer. Like, it's whatever. I found a field with a line of bush in it.
It wasn't a ditch though. Like, a ditch is on a side. This is in the field. There's some of those you see like that separates parts of a hedge. Yeah.
A line of bush.
Whatever. That is not important. The important part is, as I got there, I saw the tree was in fact on its own in this beautifully golden rapeseed field, and.
So there was no line of bush beside it.
Oh, there was no bush, nothing there at all. And we had a moment. And then I went back the next day and the next day. And we're now...
I saw your photographs.
We're now kind of, involved.
Oh, wow.
We're committed to it.
Serious.
But put it this way, I'm contemplating offering to buy the person's house who lives next to the tree, because the other side of the tree, there is a house. And I want to access it from that end as well. But I don't want
Rapeseed fields are actually very, very pretty to photograph.
Gorgeous.
They really are nice. Yeah.
And
Did you
smell.
use a drone, didn't you?
Both camera the first day and then drone the second day. The smell, when I opened the car, the smell was gorgeous. I swear to God, it was
years since I photographed one. One of my first ever photographs actually was of a tree or rapeseed field, believe it or not. And I hadn't a clue what I was doing. It was a rubbish photo, but years ago, so I can't even remember what they smell like.
Like, lads, if you check back on the WhatsApp, because you both ignored it, by the way, I'm not going to touch on that too much.
I need to make sure I did ignore it now.
But yeah, I text you and said, lads, I want a rapeseed field and a lone tree.
When was that?
About 2 weeks ago.
We did both ignore it, yeah.
You both ignored it. It was grand. Like,
it was
it's
the
fine.
16th of April.
I'm used to it.
A
at
lone
this
tree
stage.
in a field
16th of April.
shot.
Yeah.
Wow, sorry what that came from.
It's grand.
To me now.
But so that's why, you could tell by the excitement that I found. I was like, oh my God. So I can't wait for winter. Obviously the rapeseed will be gone, but that tree, me and that tree.
And tell me this, does it align with the golden hour, sunrise, sunset at any stage? Did you take a photo and go onto photo pills? And
I didn't. I'm not going to lie. I think
it'll only ever be side lit from the angle you shot, Kev, yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's also a castle ruin up behind it.
Yes, there is, but that's very close to a musician's house who I may or may not really want to photograph.
Yeah, that's why you love that area. That's why you're stalking that tree.
What was your?
I didn't say that, Sean. You did, but yes. So so I don't want to be lurking around with a drone near the castle because
Yeah.
But when has that stopped you lurking? Now I have a question on photography related to this story about trees and falling in love, and it's romantic and all, Kev, but how did you find, and this is a complete rabbit hole, but how did you find shooting rapeseed in terms of white balance?
It's a tough enough one, isn't it?
Yeah, the yellow flowers. I always found that the camera, in terms of luminosity, thinks that bright yellow is just really overexposed white.
Yes.
And it can't then dial in the blue sky and the yellow flowers, and it gets real confused. I did a portrait shoot in a rapeseed field, and I balanced the skin tones of the model, and the flowers were orange. I was like, what the hell am I going to do here? The cameras couldn't get the white balance right for them at all.
So what did you do? Create a copy and edit white balance for flowers on one, skin tones and just blend it?
Just duplicate the layer and then do a colour balance adjustment and do the flowers separately and mask out the model then.
I can say, as I said, Ronan, if people scroll way down, they'll find this photo. I'm going to do it. Scroll away, it's a rubbish image. But I can't remember. I shot at sunrise I think it was actually, Joe, I think it was my first time to exposure blending. Oh my God, it was horrendous. Yeah. But
I think you sent me a copy of that and asked me to have a go with it because you were struggling with it.
I was. You're dead right, man. Jeez, that was a long time ago, Ron. That was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, lads, so cute.
Yeah, but I can't remember it. I probably didn't know what white balance was back then. I barely know what white balance is now. Never mind back then. But
just think of Kelvin. Be grand.
Kelvin, yeah.
Kelvin Designs on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Kelvin Designs.
I was out shooting Astro again last night. So I was.
You are a glutton.
He is a glutton for punishment.
But you know what?
Constantly at it.
I know, it's not good. It's not good for the body, but just you have to make the most of it when the skies are clear. This has been on my own memory, and I think everyone else can agree with this. This has been the best spring Astro so far.
Really?
Because every single new moon or relatively weak moon phase, there's been at least one clear night, which is so rare.
Thank you, climate change.
Thank you, climate change. Well,
Yeah, it's been a bit cold lately, hasn't it? In fairness, like for May, because it's May.
Yeah, it has been. It has been a bit cool now, but yeah, and I had a great week last week shooting, and yeah, so look, you know what, you just have to get out and keep chasing, like never settle.
Like I would say the amount of times in a week me talking to other people that I say like you are the most dedicated photographer that I know.
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, you.
Yeah, do you know what? Like, we were having this chat the other day with a few of the lads, and I put my hand up and was like, yeah, I am. Like, I work very, very hard. There's a reason I can take a nice photograph, because like people don't realise the amount of work I put in. Like, so they don't see the amount of work I put in. If everyone put in the same amount of work I did, they'd be the same. And I also make, there's like, it's no surprise. Like, I'm a teacher and I have time off. I mean, I've no ties. Like, I'm single. I've no family. I live in Galway. Do you know what I mean? My free time, I'm out in the landscape. Do you know? So, like, I have a big advantage on other people who have to come home from work and deal or feed their families and, you know, then try and get some exercise in. I don't have that. Like, so, I mean, I'm lucky. But still, I still have to get myself out of bed at 3 a.m.
You do, like, because you say you're lucky, but some people don't. You know, like, I mean, it's very easy not to get out of your bed at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Very, very easy not to.
Yeah.
Especially probably 4 times in the last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's been a busy week for photography, right?
Oh, this is an intervention.
You do have
hunger, lads. I can't. I find it hard to describe you. It's just, don't know what it is. Just have to keep chasing and keep improving. Like, because I really felt I plateaued. Like, I really plateaued, I thought, over the last few months. And now the tracker has just given me a new lease of life.
Do you have it there?
That's my focus.
Whip it
no,
up.
it's on the
doesn't matter.
windowsill there.
Sorry.
Yeah. But just now I'm kind of like, yeah, now I have another vision. And also trying to find new hidden gems in Connemara, places that haven't been shot before. That's kind of my focus now.
Deadly.
So yeah, it's all good.
And Roro, how about you, my friend?
I'm coming for Sean's title because I no longer have any ties either, because my business failed and my life fell apart. So
business is just temporarily on hold, my friend.
Yeah. It's actually going all right at the moment. But
you shot a wedding.
Back out. I've shot 3 weddings this year. That's nearly half of what I shot last year. So
that's progress.
Good. But I got out into Ballinstow Woods, the mountain bike trails the other day, and did an old hike and took a few photographs. And yeah, an 8K hike until I ended up on top of a mountain.
Oh,
so, he did. He was on top of a mountain.
Yeah. 8 kilometers, man. That's no easy hike. Fair play.
Yeah, well, now, in fairness, 2 kilometers was up and the 6 was as I meandered my way down. I kind of went looking for things.
Beautiful.
So in the defense of the mountain, it was not all uphill. But yeah, no, it was great. Great to be back out again. And like, I feel a different man now. I feel recharged and refreshed. And
great.
I have a couple of things to sort out. And when I have them sorted out, I'm going to be pretty much living in the mountains now. I'm just going to be out chasing Sean's title of the most addicted photographer in the country.
Oh, lads, it's great though. Like, honestly, I'm real proud of you two all the time. Like, it's lovely. You know what I mean?
You're the dad of the podcast.
I am, and I'm like when I see Sean, I'm like, oh, I'm real proud of him. Like, oh, that's cool. You know what I mean? Like that, you know, like the Connemara shot. You know, the shot, the cottage. Like when I see that, I just like, honestly, like I want to stick it on my fridge with fridge magnets. Because you're my son and I'm proud of you. You know what I mean?
I'll send you a print of a kid. Don't worry.
Please do.
Don't worry.
And then Ronan, you, because Ballinstow is a place that we all know has been photographed a lot since one particular person photographed it. We'll say no more. But you found something new there.
I don't know if it's new, but it is. The mountain bike trail side hasn't really, it gets neglected because so many people go up to the boardwalk beside Loch Tay. The actual woods itself, like the rest of the woods, is phenomenal. There's tons of compositions. Now, like a lot of them would be heavily reliant on foggy weather and a certain type of light and stuff. But when I was strolling through there the other day, and I had a little notebook in my pocket, and there's 8 or 9 shots I want to go back and try.
Really?
And that's the funny thing about
Sean is like notebook.
Love
yes,
that.
Give me that.
I learned that on this podcast.
Yeah.
But one of the things is like that's one place, and I threw a load of ideas into the notebook. Not all of them are going to work, and I'm not going to be able to make it back to get the right conditions all the time. But for someone who exclusively shoots in Wicklow, that's 9 to 10 photographs in one location.
Yeah.
And there's so many other locations that you don't spend time in. So I'm going to spend the rest of the year pretty much down like Clunout, Glen, all these places that are kind of unloved. Glencree, unloved. The Glencree Valley, it's unloved. There's so much to see and so much to find, and I just want to chase that now.
Do you know what, right? I think in landscape photography, we focus too much on location and not the composition.
Yeah.
You can find a composition anywhere.
Correct.
Anywhere
absolutely correct. You absolutely can. To an extent. To an extent. But
you know what I mean? It's not sometimes we treat a location as a composition, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
One spot is a composition, but within that spot, there could be 10 compositions.
It's like Glendalough. Like if you think of Glendalough, you go to the upper lake.
Yeah. Yes.
But actually, if you stroll around Glendalough, as Ronan has proven over the last couple of years, there are many compositions out there. That just
it gets me every time when he looks at the camera.
I know in waves. But there, it's Glendalough is the prime example of that, because there's loads if you just open your eyes.
Ronan, are you going to get your workshops back up and running?
Yes.
Yeah. Lovely.
I'm actually I'm doing up my
there.
Excuse me. I'm doing up my other website at the moment, and redoing all my prints and all that kind of stuff. And then workshops will hopefully come back in June, July, with whatever the guidance is on meeting up outdoors. But I'm doing one-to-ones and online lessons at the minute using Camera Sim, which is a software that simulates being out and about. And they're going pretty good. So
brilliant. I actually have a workshop coming up in a couple of weeks.
I was going to ask John, would you consider it? When you say you have a workshop, are you attending or are you doing it?
I think it was Paul Casey. So Paul's wife, Paul's girlfriend. I can't remember. It could have been Paul's sister. A female in Paul's life.
Some lady Paul knows.
Yeah. Messaged me last year, asking would I take him on a workshop, and she obviously paid me and everything, and sure, COVID hit then, and poor Paul we haven't been able to get out of the workshop. So hopefully in the next 2 or 3 weeks now, either I'll go down to Kerry to Paul, and he'll come up here to Connemara, and I'll take him on a workshop. So I'm looking forward to that. Look, it's something I've been toying with. I've been asked a lot about him, to be honest. I have been. And I'm considering for the summer while I'm off doing one-to-ones, or even maybe 2, max 3 people.
I'll take a slot
in Connemara.
I've been asking Kevin to go away with me so many times, and he never does. And Sean's like, "Yeah, I might do workshops." Then I'm not really bothered with it. And Kev's like,
I'll be there. I'll leave tonight.
But if anyone, on a serious note, I'm just kind of gathering interest at the moment. I think this is the first time I probably have said it. It's the first time people have heard it. So if people would be interested, drop me a message. It'll be very, me, it'll be very easy one. I'll take you to locations, and we'll have a bit of crack, and we'll shoot some images, and you'll see another part of the country.
And if you want all 3 members of the tripod there, just use the promo code TRYNOT. And I'm joking. I'm sorry, Ronan. Sorry.
No, I have a barring order against Kevin, so we can't actually do anything together. So
it's true.
Shall we delve into the
actual episode?
The actual episode, yeah.
I was trying to do that there, but then you started giving yourself a plug. So anyone who wants to workshop with Sean, send Sean a message. Anyone who wants a workshop with someone who knows what they're talking about and has experience doing workshops, send me a message. Anyone who wants to go out and fall in love
of cans.
or have cans, send Kev a message. That's pretty much it.
What did you say about
I might even make a sneak appearance on one of Sean's workshops. Who knows? No, Kev, no. Right.
No, lastly.
Today's episode.
While we're here, what's your social media name? Plug your socials. We never do that.
I'd like to think that everyone who listens to this podcast follows
the show notes.
What if we've just picked up? Right, come on, sorry.
Sean O'R Photo.
We're after talking for 15 minutes about absolute rollicks. So I don't think anyone will
That was
want
a
to
very
follow us.
interesting conversation.
That was an interesting conversation, but like,
Did you listen to the Tommy and Hector podcast with Loupedeck and Tablets?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
All they do is just talk about random stuff.
It's what
Brilliant.
That's
Like
what
the
you
lads are
want.
saying that I should host the podcast. I'm trying to host the podcast and I'm trying to manage our time and I'm trying to.
I listened to a podcast called Red Handed, which is like a true crime podcast, right?
And that like they're not going away.
Yeah, we better let him.
And on the same time,
so he's going to explode.
Ronan,
His bad bud is going to
well.
pop off his head.
Ronan, would you like to continue with the episode, friend?
Do I have permission to now? Do I?
It's actually an interesting episode.
I suppose.
It's a great episode and I've been really looking forward to it.
Go on,
Today on the tripod, we're talking about the Tommy and Hector podcast. No, we're not. No, we're doing a good one. We're doing accessories, but not accessories for your camera, accessories for your computer. And we're going to touch on like the difference between if you edit on a laptop, what it's like moving to a desktop, what it's like going from a trackpad to a mouse. And myself and Sean O'Riordan both use tablets, but Sean is going to talk about his use of tablets because I only use one type. And I use something called a Loupedeck for my editing.
Yeah, you do.
And it's a fantastic tool that
You're a
I wouldn't
fantastic
recommend-
tool. Sorry. I'm sorry. I couldn't help
Jesus,
it.
he
Couldn't
was
help
doing
it.
so
like,
well.
Couldn't help it. It was there.
Christ on a bicycle. What was I saying now? Loupedeck.
Fantastic tool.
Yeah, it's a fantastic tool. So a Loupedeck, for the people watching this video, is this. And it basically looks like a mixer deck that like you'd play music on or something like that. But it has like a spinny dial for exposure, contrast, clarity, shadows, highlights, blacks, whites. And then it has custom ones and like temperature, tint, vibrance, saturation, all these things.
Gorgeous.
It basically has a button for every option you can choose in Lightroom. And it's either like a spinny dial or a spinny knob thingy or a big spinny knob thingy. And Kevin, Sean, please.
I didn't say a thing.
Kevin's face is bright red.
It's as red as his earphones.
Keep going.
But the Loupedeck is, I wouldn't recommend it for everyone. Like if you're editing a single photograph, it's pretty cool once you get used to it. Like you can, it comes with software where you can map out your controls. You can actually map it for Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, After Effects, Capture One, Aurora. There's a couple of other ones. Like you can basically put a custom control from and like it's not like you have to go in and go, when I press this button it will move the slider this way. It comes pre-programmed with like the effect you're after. So if it's like an adjustment layer in Photoshop, you just go in and click the specific adjustment layer and drag it onto that little dial, and then that dial does that. But they come kind of firstly dedicated for Lightroom, and you can literally, instead of having to click your mouse and drag sliders up and down, you just spin the little dial.
That sounds
and
ideal.
It's phenomenal. Like I use it for weddings. So first and foremost, it has two different modes. So when you're in library mode on Lightroom Classic, or if you're in Lightroom CC, if you're just browsing your photos, it will behave differently. So the buttons are set out that like you can skim through and press one button to favorite, one button to pick, one button to reject. You can set all your color labels and all that kind of stuff. And then like the wedding I did the other day, I've 1,500 photos to go through, and I will zip through them now and whittle it down. And it's literally like you're just going bang, 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 bang. Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. You fly through it, as opposed to having to like click on the keyboard and then go down and click the little flag, or else press P. Like, it's just so intuitive, and
that is so cool.
It didn't take long to get used to either. Once I got used to it, like, you're lightning fast, and even as you're going through doing your cull, you can spin the little exposure dial. If, say, a photo is too dark and underexposed, as you're going through, you just flick the exposure dial and it throws an extra stop on, and you can see the photo better. And it's like boom, boom, boom. It's lightning fast.
That is class. So would you use that like for every shoot you do now? Like, was that an essential piece of kit?
Yeah, I cannot live without it now.
That is amazing.
It's phenomenal. But the coolest thing I like about the Loupedeck, do you know when you're editing a photo in Lightroom, if you press L, the lights out mode, and it darkens around just the photo, and then you press L again and the whole screen goes black except the photo?
You can edit in that mode?
Yeah, because
shut the front door.
You can't see the sliders or anything when you're looking to slide them with your mouse. But with this thing connected, you don't need to see them. So you can black out everything but the photo, and then work away on the Loupedeck and just spin all the dials and all that. And you can even put it into full screen and work away. Like, this becomes your Lightroom panels. And
that is amazing.
Like, this up here is your HSL. Yeah, good.
What's this lights out mode?
If you're in Lightroom and you press L, it darkens around the photo. And if you press L again, it goes completely jet black around the photo. Blacks everything else out. It's a really handy way to look at your edit and take the focus off everything else. There's a good tip.
Not at all.
We should have included that on episode 49, Sean, maybe.
Jeez, Ron, that'd be amazing. So you see no Lightroom sliders, and you can literally watch your photo transform in front of you.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so episode 49 I need to come back to, because there was so many Lightroom tips that were missed in that.
We'll have another one.
Yeah, okay.
I'll have to do it there on one of my images. That looks great.
I want one of those, Ronan, because I remember being in your gaff one time, and you were editing a photo of Glenn Malore, actually.
It was, the lodge.
And you had that, and I was like, what the fudging hell is he doing? I want one.
This is price, the Loupedeck Plus.
Price-wise, Ronan?
This will set you back 250 lids with shipping.
I was expecting worse.
Yeah, there's more expensive things. Like, your Star Tracker was €250. So it's kind of like, it's a grand. If you've the money to invest now, don't put yourself under any pressure. But you can see this on the video now, the listeners won't, but there's dials along the top, and you can see the red, orange, yellow, green, cyan.
Oh God,
blue, magenta. That's your HSL. And see here it has hue and the little lights on beside it. If I press saturation, the light goes on. Press luminance, the light goes on. And that's how you control the different panels. Like when I press these different buttons and the light moves, that's what panel these dials will control. There's all these program buttons you can set before and after. Export straight away. This is for cropping, and it's so intuitive. You click the button and it goes into crop mode. You spin it to change the size of your crop, and you use the little arrows to move the crop box around. And when you're done, you just click it again.
So this isn't sponsored, right? But this really should be sponsored, because I want one. I really, really want one. And I'm sure everyone listening to this will be like, holy God, I want one right now.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. But you have color ratings that you can then press this button and change it to number ratings. You have control and alt and function. If you hold function, then every button starts to do something else that you can map and customize. You have white balance controls, more custom buttons over here, 2 custom buttons in the middle. This thing, I don't recommend it for everyone, because if you're only editing one photo a month, it's not worth €250.
Yeah.
But if you do a lot of editing in Lightroom, and especially if you're doing like multiple portraits and stuff, because it has copy and paste, so you can edit one photo, hit copy and zip through and paste those settings.
Christ on a bicycle.
It is a phenomenal tool, and I'd recommend it highly to anyone who does a lot of work in Lightroom.
I was going to say, that piece of kit would be what would bring me nearly back into Lightroom, like as a major part of my workflow. Now, me personally, I wouldn't get the use out of it because I do such minor adjustments in Lightroom. I'm all Photoshop and camera.
Fussy.
Do you know?
Fussy.
But being able to have access to all your sliders there without having to try and move a mouse and stuff like that, because that'll kind of come on to. Is there anything, before we kind of segue on, is there anything else you kind of want to say about Loupedeck before we?
Well, here's one that would swing you on it. It works in Camera Raw, the exact same as it does in Lightroom.
Man,
So-
I'm trying to save for a fast prime. Like, why did you tell? You could have just left that out. Like,
I could have, but I knew it would sway you.
yeah. Oh wow, that's
Why-
after making it a lot more appealing.
It's so versatile. Like even
And can you map actions in Photoshop to it? I wonder.
yeah, on the P buttons across the top, I have my wedding presets mapped to it. So if you set it up for Photoshop, you could have your wedding actions or your actions and presets and all that mapped to it.
Like Raya Pro, like.
Yeah, you could map. Well, I don't know about Raya Pro because it's the plugin. But if you have your own actions, you could make an action that plays at one of the Raya Pro functions, and then just map that, and then it's so versatile, and it works in Premiere Pro as well, Sean. Like you can scrub, you can do all these other things. It works in After Effects. It's a great tool.
Wow.
And
I was gonna say you're a great tool, but to be honest, after that whole thing, I'm really impressed.
I am impressed.
Like genuinely,
I remember you on about it, and like I knew what it did and stuff, but just listening to you talk through it there, it makes so much sense for you and as a wedding photographer, and for someone who's doing big batch edits and lots of images and stuff,
100%.
Wow. Well, if that was an ad for Loupedeck, my segment is definitely not going to be an ad for Wacom tablets.
Oh
no.
God.
Shall I go on? Will I go on to the
work away.
the tablets? So I use a Wacom. So I use a tablet and pen for my blending in Photoshop primarily. It's like a stylus. It acts the same as a mouse. And the model I have is the Wacom Intuos Pro, the medium version. I know it is absolutely fantastic.
Welcome back, Ron.
Thank you. Sorry.
Absolutely fantastic. Okay, for it's so intuitive. So Ronan, that's the one Ronan is holding up there now is a Wacom tablet. I don't know what version that is.
I don't know either.
But
Intuos, and it's the medium one.
Yeah.
INTUOS.
Yeah, mine is the same, but mine has buttons and stuff on the left hand side.
My buttons are. Maybe this is the large one. I don't know. Sorry, I'm stealing your thunder.
It's okay. That's mine. So I think this is probably the bigger one or something. This Pro version, whatever it is. Anyway,
Hold it up beside your head.
Fantastic.
Mine is one Ronan's head. Yours is two Ronan's heads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that the unit for Wacom tablet measurement
Yeah. It is now.
or HDH?
I dropped something there.
Sure.
So anyway, using a tablet and a stylus is fantastic if you're into your exposure blending and if you do a lot of work in Photoshop, because you literally feel like an artist with a pen.
You are an artist.
Or an artist with a paintbrush, sorry, and Photoshop is your canvas. So this is the little pen that comes with it. Okay, and actually it's changed the nib on this so you can get different nibs.
I'm literally doing that at the moment.
Yeah, where did you get it actually?
Lads, put your nibs away, for God's sake.
They're
This is
in the
live
back of
on
the pen.
YouTube.
The what?
They're in the back of the pen.
They're in the
Oh
back
my
of the
God.
pen.
Watch Sean's brain explode here. No, Sean.
No, they're not.
Halfway down, twist it.
They're not. Okay, can I actually get through this? Like,
No,
you
because
want
you're
to.
going to slate Wacom.
I'm not going to slay at Wacom. So, absolutely fantastic. Now, I still use a mouse and keyboard. So, I use a mouse if I'm editing in Lightroom, because using the pen is very hard to get the little cursor on the tiny little Lightroom slider symbol. Do you know what I mean? To turn the sliders. So it's quite hard to do that on the Wacom tablet with a stylus. Okay, so I still use the pen, I still use the mouse and keyboard. Now I love the tablet for blending, in Photoshop for masking things out, unbelievable. And you have buttons on the side here, so if I'll plug it out again, so the viewers who are watching this can see it. So these buttons can all be mapped. So I have it mapped to like undo, alt, shift. This wheel here can be used for zooming, can be used for reducing your brush size, whatever you want. There's so much customizable features in this that I do not use. Okay. Now, the reason I would not recommend this to people is because this brand new costs 300 and something euros. Okay. Costs an awful lot of money. And for what I use it for, there's much cheaper alternatives. Okay. And also the size. See the size of it. I only use this little square here. Okay, literally this corner, because you can map like the area you want to use, and if you have the whole thing mapped, the pen goes all over the place. It's impossible to control. So I have this tiny little square here top mapped. So think about it, like I have probably 1 foot and 2 inches of a tablet here. I use a tiny little square in it. Okay, there are much.
Mine's. Guess which square I use.
I'd say I'm gonna guess the
one with the faded.
You can see the damage on it.
Yeah.
That's actually with the bigger ones. The idea is you map it to a corner, and then when you've worn that down, you move the square over and you wear that bit down. So you've more tablet to wear down.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that makes a lot of sense because that corner is well worn out this stage. Okay, right. Perfect. Thank you for that, Ronan.
Because you're furiously.
But there are much cheaper alternatives. So there's a tablet so I have the medium version. You can get the Wacom, the smaller version, okay, which is just the tablet itself. There's another alternative which I think Mark O'Brien uses, Michael McKillicuddy uses, and it's called the XP pen. It's called Deco, and it's like just for Android, Windows, whatever you want. Okay, so it's XP pen. I have it up here. And Deco, this is the version 2 graphics tablet, and it's 68 euros. And it's literally just a tablet, you plug it into a computer, and you have your pen, and it'll do the exact same thing.
Now, Sean, would that be good for people who maybe want to try a Wacom tablet but don't want to commit? Because
Absolutely.
that happens all. Like I have a terrible fear of commitment. So if I were getting one, I'd probably go for that
Nicola
one.
told us.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But like that would be my thing. Like so just because I'd go, so happy days.
Just something to dip your toes in terms of getting used to using a pen and a tablet for editing. Okay. Now, you could be the opposite of me. You could love all the customizable features and all the mapping, do you know what I mean, that's going on with the Wacom Pro, and you could be into all that, and like that's perfect. But like I'll still have my keyboard beside me. Like you still use my keyboard alongside my tablet when I'm editing. That's my workflow. I'm so used to it. Literally, they're like extensions. Like it's just like natural as breathing now when I'm editing, you know. But just for the people who want to get into using a pen and stylus, type in XP Pen Deco into Amazon Germany. That's Amazon Germany, by the way, and 68 quid, and I think it would be a great start. And if you want to delve into it, then you know, more power to you. But for blending, masking, everything in Photoshop, I love it. It's like you're painting. It's class.
Yeah. The pressure sensitive ones are an absolute game changer. Like to be able to, anyone who's used Photoshop and paints on masks will know that, like when you have to go through with black and then go up and change the opacity and the flow on the brush, and then you have to come back down. Kevin, this is a video podcast. We can't just pause and stop for you.
Yeah.
So if you need to do something,
can you not edit video now? Whoops.
Do you need to go to the toilet, Kevin?
I mean, I don't want to say it in front of the millions of listeners we have, but I mean,
you
possibly.
go to the toilet and me and Sean will finish the points we were making there.
Yeah.
Go on, we'll wait. We'll sit here in silence until you get back.
But I think this one is pressure sensitive, Ronan, because what I find is when I'm in Photoshop and let's say I do one brush stroke, if I lean heavier, it's like I'm using a larger opacity. If that makes sense.
That's the job. Yeah, like when you're masking, if you're just rubbing real light with the pen, you don't have to go up and change the flow and the opacity and all that. Like when you're on a keyboard and mouse, you have to constantly go back, and even you can set it so that it changes the size of your brush depending on the pressure, so you don't have to constantly change the size of your brush and all. Like it's hard to explain on a podcast. Yeah. But once people try it, you won't go back. You'll never go back. Like it's phenomenal.
It's just, it almost helps you get naturally good at like blending, exposure blending and masking. Do you know what I mean? Because especially with the pressure sensitive ones, because you don't have to worry about harsh outlines where you've masked in, like, you know, like if you're using different opacities and stuff. And like there's nothing worse than having used 7 different opacities in the one area, because it's just like different shades, different luminosities, and it's so obvious that it's been done, like, you know?
Yeah.
Now I do use the buttons on the left. It's not that I don't use them, I do use them. So I have like undo, so like Control Z mapped up to 1, which is very handy. I have another one, I have my brush tool, so it's instead of pressing B, I just press the button. It's my brush tool. Another one I have mapped to change my foreground color, so just switch between black and white, which I find really handy as well. And another one I actually have, and this is the thing, like I can just go into the Wacom software, press the button I want to map, and literally just type Control L. So when I press that button then in Photoshop, it'll bring up my levels layer.
Deadly.
Do you know what I mean? Which is so handy, rather than having to go up to the, I know it sounds like it's going to take 2 seconds, but still, like, rather than having to go up to the adjustments, find the levels in all those tiny little Photoshop symbols, which I can never find the right ones still to this day. Do you know, you just press the button, Control L, levels there, pops.
But that's the thing. With that customization, it's the same with the Loupedeck. Like, it only takes 2 seconds to click and drag a slider. Like, it only takes 2 seconds to go up and click graduated filter and drag it out on the image. But when you start using the Wacom tablets and, well, any tablet and the Loupedeck and the likes of that, it gives you the same control you already have, but there's a new level of, like, what's the word? Begins with
sexiness.
Oh, there's Kevin back.
All right, lads.
It gives you a new level of proficiency, so that you can actually speed up. Like if you were already really good at editing and really fast at editing, you'll now be able to go quicker and quicker and quicker. Like Sean, with your levels layer mapped there, and you're switching the foreground colors for masking it in and stuff like that. Like it's just, it's a whole other level. And once you learn that, then it's like driving a car. You don't think about changing gear anymore, so you become more tuned in and you focus more on the actual skill of what you're doing. So you become more precise, and it just hones everything in. Like, so they're definitely 100% worth the investment. Yeah.
So like, what I would say to people is, don't go. Look, if you have cash burning a hole in your pocket, grand, get the Wacom, but
or go in a workshop with Sean.
or Ronan. Like basically, let's split the country in half, right? Sean, you have this side, Ronan, you have this side.
Don't worry, I'll gladly take the west of Ireland over the east. Don't matter. I think Ronan got the short straw.
He has Wicklow. Yeah, and that is the only thing going. Really, I mean, like Loud is decent-ish. Mark Duffy will vouch for that.
The only thing on the east of the country,
it's Wicklow.
Yeah, the only thing on the east of the country I'd like to photograph is Wicklow. And maybe Hook Lighthouse for Astro. Other than that, I would not be sad if I never photographed in the east of the country ever again.
But like Wicklow has it all.
Sorry,
like Dunluce Castle up north. We have the Black Castle. You have Torque Waterfall down south. We have Ballinafunchauga. Like Wicklow has a comparable scene for every scene in the country.
It actually does.
If you want doing the Mast or whatever it's called, the sea stack, we have the Mahermore sea stack. Granted, Dunbrista, yeah. Now, granted, the Mahermore sea stack fell over and it's more of a sea stump, but it's still there.
Classic Wicklow behavior.
Irrelevant.
Oh wow!
Name anywhere in the country, and I'll give you the Wicklow alternative.
Oh man, that should be a game. This is exciting. This should be an app.
Cliffs of Moher. We have the cliffs of British Bay, out around Ardmore Point, between Maherabeg and Mahermore.
Guggenbarra.
Glendalough,
man.
Yeah. It was an easy
the
one.
college and the that
The red
shot.
roofed cottage in Connemara with 12 bins as the backdrop.
The red roof cottage in
Glenmalure. Glenmalure, yeah. As I was saying, I was like, Glenmalure.
Zigzags in the background. Wicklow has it all, baby. Wicklow
It's
has it all.
in fairness, he's not wrong. And you have explored. I'd say you've seen every inch of Wicklow. You know that.
No, I've only
I'm
ever been
thinking
to
of places
Lockdown.
now.
So lads, so editing wise, like obviously my journey is quite different than you lads because I have never used either of
Skill,
those fancy
talent.
DDs. There was no need for that. That was unnecessary.
I'm sorry.
We're being nice to me this
So
year,
sorry.
remember?
Oh, sorry, I forgot. I'm sorry. I'll
Yeah.
take it back.
Fuck you, Sean.
Oh yeah, by the way, fuck you, Sean. No, but I mean, in fairness, I've gone from mobile editing to laptop editing to desktop / all-in-one situation editing. And there has been a massive difference each time. So mobile editing is grand. It's lovely. I think there's actually more control in mobile editing than laptop editing because you know the trackpads on a laptop,
Yeah.
they're disgusting.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Agreed.
They are absolutely
Agreed.
disgusting. And I would much rather laptops just did not involve them and you had to get a mouse and keyboard because it's bad, right?
Yeah.
But since I've made the switch from laptop to desktop, it's provoked a few things. First of all, it's provoked me to learn Photoshop. Bits of Photoshop so far. I'm not sure why I was reluctant to do it with a laptop, but I just feel more comfortable with the whole desktop situation here. But there's definitely a lot more control, bigger screen. You know, you've got a mouse. I feel a lot more in control when I'm editing a photo now, and I think that shows in my edits these days. Like they're not as wacky and wild and bizarre as they used to be or whatever.
The portrait edits that you pulled out when like the phone ones you did were always good.
Yes.
I would call them acceptable now, having seen like your first Photoshop edit when you got that computer first. Like it was literally worlds apart from what you had been doing. And the only difference really was because you had no experience in Photoshop was the different setup. So
that's it. Like, and genuinely, it's like Photoshop. Because I know for a fact there are people who still don't use Photoshop for the same reason that I didn't. That it's a fear of the unknown, and that it's not sliders sitting on your right hand side, easy to use. It's not that scary. It's really not.
Can I interlude here?
100%. Jump in.
Totally. It's to do with Photoshop, but it's nothing got to do with you, Kevin. I wouldn't call it a troll, but
oh my God, I was going to reference this earlier on. Go on.
Yeah, go on. So, so you wrote it. My Astro shot I put it up on Twitter there a few days ago and stuff, and then this woman on Twitter said, was Photoshop or filters used? And I said, yeah, Photoshop was used to blend the tracked sky into the untracked foreground, because obviously if you track a foreground it's going to be blurred, like, you know. And I said no filters used, and then she said Photoshop should be given credit for images like this. Well, holy God!
Your response. I want to read out your response.
Do okay.
If you don't mind.
Was her name Sandra, and did you recently meet her on top of Diamond Hill?
No, that is a different personality. Before Kevin reads the response, okay, I think it's a certain skill that teachers have, or that I don't know, I'm very good at it anyway. I'm very good at absolutely, how do I say it? So calmly, but at the same time, absolutely tearing someone apart.
You're firm yet supple and smooth.
Yeah,
yes,
like a
and
frying
always
pan.
Never incriminating myself.
100%. So this person said people should give credit to Photoshop when showing images, which is ridiculous. First of all, like, can we just call a spade here? Like, this person,
I honestly thought
needs to just like
wild.
stop, right?
Yeah.
Sean's response. Like, I kind of want to print this, frame this, and put it on my wall right here.
Open the stories.
Get it tattooed on the small of your back.
Photoshop doesn't make images like this. It doesn't keep you warm, standing out in the freezing cold at 3 a.m. It doesn't tell you how to shoot a scene or plan the direction of the Milky Way. It doesn't tell you what settings to use. It's merely a tool same as a camera or a tripod?
Or Kevin.
Or, I was going to add in, or you, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, yeah, it's merely a tool, the same as a camera or a tripod. And that is
bang on correct, yeah. You're
so nailed on the head.
When people hear Photoshop, like non-photography people, they think fake images, adding stuff in that isn't there, etc., etc. Photoshop is the dark room of today. Like this is Ansel Adams was doing these techniques in his dark room. Do you know what I mean? It's called Photoshop.
Oh yeah, like I mean, one thing I think, even her use of the word filters, she wasn't referring to like a
no, she was
kind
referring
of
to
filter.
Instagram
filter, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, good lord.
Throw a bit of Cairo on and drop the opacity to 90.
Exactly, you know what I mean? We've definitely lost our train of thought here. You're grand, honestly, because I wanted to say earlier on, like I was going to bring it up earlier on, because like you owned her, like you did, and perfectly acceptably owned her as well.
Because I wasn't nasty, yeah. Like
I'll
never be nasty to someone. I'll just tell them straight out, sorry.
Yeah,
this is a Ronan. Stop that right now.
He will be nasty. Don't believe him when he's on the podcast and people can hear him. He's really
the listeners
lovely.
know I'm a lovely lad. Never been.
That's
nasty.
exactly what a not lovely lad would say.
You're both the loveliest lads in the land. I would never lie.
Actually, we are the loveliest lads in the land.
In the land. But yeah, look, honestly, if you're using a laptop for editing, just buy a USB mouse. Even like, genuinely do it. Like it's. You know,
so
it's
simple, but
very small investment. Like, but it's like those little pads on a laptop, and I swear to God.
I brought my MacBook to Donegal last summer, like to edit the images, whatever. When I was staying up during, nothing else to do during the day. During summer, like no, you can't shoot during the day. So it's like I'll just edit the images. Yeah. I feel like I had arthritis in my wrist, in my hand, like from trying to blend images using the trackpad and stuff. Oh no way, nightmare.
Horrendous. They're not built for that. They're not. Like that's.
No, they're not.
Do you know another thing with laptops? When I used to edit on a laptop when I started out, I had the laptop on my lap, as is in the name. The hint was always there. But I was sitting on the couch editing a photo, and then I got called into the other room, went into the other room, and I came back and I kind of slouched a bit more and moved the laptop and the screen tilted back. And the image looked completely different because it depended on what way you angled
the difference
screen.
of the tilt on the screen, 100%.
Didn't think about that.
Even if it's a couple of millimeters
on a laptop.
You're talking,
Now, can I just say, because shout out to Colin Gleeson. Colin has just got away and spent a lot of money on a lovely new laptop. Colin, don't throw in a laptop.
Colin, get it situated. Get it situated. Do you know what you should do, Colin? Get a laptop stand. If you don't have get a laptop stand and get it like up at like eye level.
Yeah.
So you're
like,
not down.
The issue isn't laptops. The issue is for me, the trackpad. So like just buy a mouse.
Ergonomics, yeah.
Yeah. So like it's still a perfectly functioning editing machine as a computer, as a machine, like, but just buy a USB mouse and get it up on a laptop stand. And man, that's such. I didn't even think about the angle.
Yeah, that's so accurate, Ronan. Because like you literally, if you have a laptop and you tilt it even a tiny couple of degrees, that's changed the whole exposure of your.
Stops underexposed, and your colors are completely different.
Jesus Christ.
There's a couple of things you can do with a laptop. Like the laptop stand is all well and good, but you can actually, most laptops have a HDMI connection. So you could even, if you can't afford a computer and you want to like get your editing a bit better, buy yourself either a wired USB mouse or a wireless mouse, and even get yourself a wireless mouse and keyboard. They do them in Tesco for like €24.
Yeah.
But buy yourself a monitor with a HDMI connection and connect that to your laptop and use your laptop like a desktop. And then you haven't had to go out and buy a whole new desktop. And then by the time you can afford to get a good, powerful desktop, you just take the laptop out of the equation, plug it into the monitor, and away you go.
Great.
So you can kind of
show.
Incrementally build up like that, like you would with your collection of lenses and stuff like that.
While we're talking about keyboards, wireless keyboards, This is absolutely fantastic. The brand is called Jellycomb. Okay, 271
That's a
Jellycomb.
lovely keyboard.
It's solar powered. Okay.
Stop.
It looks like a calculator.
Yeah.
It does, doesn't it? Classic teacher behavior here. Like, look at him.
The best thing, I love it. The best thing about it,
Boobless.
it's a silent keyboard.
I had to.
Oh yeah, I know what you're on about now. Writing it out in the calculator. I get kids don't know that nowadays. I'd say.
What?
I haven't seen it.
Sean, you need to grab one student, pull him to the side, and say, "Come here, look. If you type this into the calculator,
You don't.
That's not how school works, Kevin.
Yeah, okay. Times have changed, okay? Yeah.
this makes me sad."
I would lose my teaching council number, okay? So it's a silent keyboard. So I don't like the noise of tapping. So I bought a silent keyboard and a mouse as well. Jellycomb mouse. Silent mouse.
There it is.
Doesn't really work anymore because they put in the comments.
No,
Or the decimal placement.
classic.
Sure, look, the future's here. We might as well embrace it.
I need to go to Jack's now. Kevin.
Lord above.
Sure, go. Be
I
great.
think, no, before you go, Sean, we'll just wrap her up because this has been a lovely
Yeah, I
episode.
think we're done, aren't
This
we?
is honestly, this has been for an episode that clearly wasn't too well planned.
Yes, hang on a second now.
Myself and
Excuse you.
Sean did
I'm
loads of
joking.
planning.
Yeah, I have a list of notes in front of me of different tablet types,
I have
prices.
them.
I'm just
Fine
playing
screen.
up to our
pros and
stereo.
cons.
I'm playing up to our stereotype, Sean.
Well, you know what? Sometimes I don't like those fucking stereotypes. So
People love us. It's fine.
Why don't you
7
go
o'clock
back
this
to
morning.
interrupting people, Kevin, and then Sean interrupts me as I'm saying, Jesus Christ.
7 o'clock this morning, I sent the voice note into the group chat about the episode that we're recording tonight, thinking that Kevin might ponder the episode throughout the 26 hours.
No,
between that time.
That is dreadful.
14
maths.
14 hours.
Clearly not a
14
maths
hours.
teacher. Anyway,
Actually, I'm a maths teacher. The 14 hours, okay, between the message and the episode recording.
I was busy.
But alas,
I was at the dentist.
Ronan, wrap up the episode.
Okay,
I have an abscess in my mouth, Sean. I'm still talking to you.
Kevin, I'm trying to do my job as host that you
Come here,
never-
before you do it, lads, I love you both.
Love you too, Kevin. Yeah, Ronan, wrap it up here.
All right, Ro, take it away.
Burst my bladder.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 53 of the Tripod. If you are going to go out and buy any of those accessories, use the code Peter McKinnon, come onto the Tripod so that Kevin's life goal will be satisfied. Now, that discount code won't do anything, but maybe it might pop up somewhere if he's like an affiliate of one of these brands or something. I don't know. But ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 53. I was joined by the lovely Sean and Kevin. And
You're a
that's
dick.
Lovely Sean and Kev.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
Love you loads. See you next Tuesday. Day. Bye for now. Peace.
Good luck.
Kevin. Kevin!
That was a
Bye.
great episode, wasn't it?
It was another banger, yeah.
That was actually class.
Let's talk photography.
And there you have it, folks. Another episode of The Tripod.
If you did enjoy the podcast, please consider leaving us a review on iTunes.
And you can always subscribe to the podcast. And if you want to listen to more episodes, head over to www.tripod.ie, where you can find us on our socials, which include Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
Okay,
and
Ronan, that's
you
enough.
can
Yeah,
be on Snapchat
that's
and
enough, Ronan.
TikTok. And okay, thanks.